had been kind of cruising by our early part of the season. How do you guys sort of handle in terms of injuries? How do you guys kind of handle this, and where do you go from here?
Yeah, that's I don't know what you mean by we've been cruising, but I guess injury-wise?
Injury-wise, yeah.
We've been okay, yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one, especially I think he integrated it really well for us into the squad, and amazing guy in the locker room. That's not going to get lost. I think he still is going to bring a lot to the team off the pitch, because he's a good guy, he's a good professional. He's going to push really hard to come back from this, and we're here to support him as well. But it's a tough one, yeah.
So you obviously went through a stretch early last season where there was just seemingly an endless run of injuries. What do you think you learned from that as a team, and what makes you think you're possibly better prepared for it this time?
I still think we're deeper this year. Having said that, what you always have to believe when you go through tough spells, whether it's through injuries or just bad results or whatnot, that if you keep sticking with it, keep working hard, you keep believing that at some point you can maybe turn it around. I don't think we've really dug ourselves a hole in the league yet. So it's a matter of guys stepping in and performing and keeping this train rolling right now. And then I think some of the other guys who are nursing smaller injuries, I think they'll be back sooner than we know, which is great. But it's up to the rest to kind of keep the train rolling, like I said, in the meantime.
You went through an injury, obviously. Do you say anything to those guys, just like Paul, words of encouragement? Or
I've been around the block, but so has he. He's had an ACL injury before, and I think he knows what it means to go through that mentally, the space you need, all those things. I'm not an advocate of alcohol, but in the past with the Lem, I brought him a bottle of rum. With Jordan, I brought him a bottle of tequila. Paul is a gin drinker, so I got him a bottle of gin because it's maybe you have to just absorb that. That hurts mentally. That hurts. So just let maybe let your anger and your negative feelings come out for a second. And then I think, at least from my experience and having talked to him, is scheduling that surgery, that gives you that point where you're now, from this point on, you're looking forward, and then you're going to be doing everything that you can to get back stronger, faster. And like I said before, also, I think he's going to be the type of guy that's going to see, hey, what can I do to help the team, even though I'm not on the pitch? What can I do in the locker room? How can I lift the spirits? How can I make sure that the guys are seeing that I'm still part of the squad and I'm having a positive effect on them? So I'm still excited that he's on the squad, and obviously I wish him all the best, and we're going to be here to support him as much as we can.
Steph, even beyond the injuries,
just a leader, what then do you do for the team, just in terms of moving forward?
What do I do?
Yeah, I mean, you're the captain as a leader.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's. I don't think I have to say anything. It's guys will have to step up, and it's opportunities for people to play, and they ought to be hungry themselves to try to play to the best of the ability and get results. We've always said that it's the whole team. It's not just 11-something guys that are going to achieve something. So I don't think I have to say anything, honestly.
Steph, beyond the injuries, I mean, what was the take on this is a team that is always fighting for trophies, regardless of how good Cruz Azul is and the importance behind that team. I mean, what was the feel to you guys getting bounced off in this part of the tournament?
Yeah, and so unfortunately, it's we talked about a lot of opportunities to win trophies this year, and that was one of them, and that one's gone now. Having said that, I think we played a good game at home against them. Maybe if we take a chance, or the Nuhu's header is a tiny bit lower and we score one, and it's different. Same thing down there. No, it's 1-0. We have a chance to go 1-1. Even at 2-1, we have a chance to go 2-2. We were down 2-0 against Pumas down there. So these games are on a knife's edge. So I think it's good that we were able to face a really tough opponent early on in that tournament, to be fair, because either you overcome the challenge and you grow from it and you get a lot of experience, or you're not wasting too much energy on it, if you will. So, but it's a missed opportunity. Now it's from now until Club World Cup, we have league to focus on. So it really gives us one thing to narrow our focus on, and hopefully we can, like I said, keep the train rolling despite some of the injuries. keep ourselves in a good position to win trophies in the league.
And from your perspective, what have you identified as maybe what are the things that did not go your way? I mean, in terms of what made the team look, maybe as disjointed, difficulties getting out of the back, all those things. A lot of people are pointed out to the altitude, to the atmosphere, things like that. What did you feel like went wrong for the Sounders?
I mean, altitude does play a part, and for people that say it shouldn't, you're professional athletes, then I mean, it doesn't just change the lungs and you as an athlete not having the same amount of juice that you're used to, but the ball just travels different. Every shot pops off different. Every cross goes further, carries more. So it's a bit of a different game. Yeah, we practice down there, but it's different. And I think if you combine that with a team that it's well organized, very aggressive. I think they pressed us quite well. They wouldn't maybe press initially, but they would put us in a corner and then press cohesively as a unit, and they were able to force some turnovers and never really allow us to become comfortable. And yeah, that goes both ways. That's an error on our part, things that we can get better at, but also I think some props that you have to give a team that knows what they want to do, how they want to achieve it, and have the quality to do so. So again, I stand behind, especially the first game. That was, to me, from what I saw from the back, that was some of the best soccer we've played. It was 0-0, so fans might say that that wasn't a good game, but that was against a good opponent, a very well-organized opponent, and we carved out some good chances. So those are positives I can look at, but would have been nice if you could have replicated that down in Mexico City.
Steph, longevity in this business is something that doesn't come by easy. You have to take care of your body. You have to adapt to the new way soccer is being played. More tournaments, more opportunities to showcase who you are, but that also takes a toll on your body. How have you been able to manage that and to manage that transition from 10 years ago having fewer games to now having more games, more distance to travel, and how do you implement that and how do you teach that to some of the younger folks too?
I think it's good if you can the earlier as a young player you can instill good habits, the better off you'll be later down the road. I know when you're 18, 20, 25, activation, stretching, all those things don't matter, you think, but they really do, especially the older you get. And for me, personally speaking, it's just how bad do I want to play soccer and continue to play soccer. I make a sacrifice and I come here. I'm one of the first guys here every day because I do want to play, and if I don't, then I'm not going to be ready for training, and my body's not going to be ready for training. So I think the earlier that young players can instill that habit, those good habits, the better. Because like you said, there's more and more tournaments, there's more and more travel, and the thing that we neglect to talk about with all that added stuff is how much of a toll that takes on you mentally. It's not just a physical load increase, it's a mental load increase. At what point can you train anymore? We've struggled now even to train. Today was one of the first days as goalkeepers we were able to really pinpoint one thing we wanted to train on, and we were able to do so. And quite frankly, we look forward to next week being able to do that for once. So it's I've learned that through experience, and I try to pass that experience down to young guys. But whether they take it on board, sometimes it's up to them. But I hope they instill those good habits early on.
And what are some of the things that utilizing some of that mental health preparation? How do you think that fits into this new style of soccer, this new era of soccer?
Well, for one, I think it's good that we're talking about it more than we used to. It's sort of similar when we're talking about concussions and how it's good that we're talking about those issues and how serious it is. And I think especially in the men's game, in all men's sports, being able to talk about mentally what's going on in your brain is used to be kind of something that people keep under wraps. And it's good that people are talking about it more because it's a huge part of the game. I mean, you're talking about having confidence in yourself is like the first layer, but there's so many layers behind it. Everybody has personal lives with ups and downs that they bring onto the field, whether they like it or not. So you have to wrestle with those things, prepare for those things, have balance in your life, because soccer is a really tiny part of every player's life, and you want to make sure that everything is as good as it can be, so that you can truly just focus on soccer when you step on a pitch.
Steph, have you ever had that, without getting too personal on your coach, that ever had a coach miss a couple days, and what's the effect there? You remember in your career?
I'm sure I have, but the fact that I don't remember it shows you that it didn't have a big effect. Honestly, I mean, I think our coaching staff is a well-oiled unit, and I'm sure Schmetz was in the meetings this morning via Zoom or whatever they did. So I don't think there'll be anything different. You know, in terms of preparation for teams with video, we have designated assistant coaches that handle certain aspects of our games, and that's not going to change. So I don't see it being any different.
St. Louis City is yet to concede a goal. They're coming from a big win over the LA Galaxy. What do you see from this St. Louis City team?
Well, obviously, like you said first, they've been very good defensively. I mean, Roman is one of the best goalkeepers in the league, possibly still in the world, if you ask me. So, huge credit to him and their team as a defensive unit. I think they're really good on set pieces. They're a bigger side. They put opponents under a lot of pressure on corner kicks. It's you know, sometimes they stack 3 guys on the goalkeeper and they put a ball and they see what happens. It might not be the perfectly 100% thought out goal, but they get goals that way. And they put, like I said, they apply a lot of pressure on teams that way. So we're ready for that. I hope we've looked at some things. We've discussed how we want to approach that and make sure that we can eliminate that threat.
Well, it's not pitchers and quarterbacks, right? And goalkeepers, just players that affect the game. But is that a challenge when you're playing like in the top keeper, like you're talking about with Rocky? I mean, do you take that as a challenge as well, even though you're not playing against him?
Yeah, I mean, there's every game there's 2 keepers on the pitch, and obviously if one has a shocking game and the other one has a great game, then there's a contrast for you, right? I think it's great. I mean, to see someone of his quality come into the league, and I watched him when he was still playing in the Bundesliga for a long time. Obviously, Swiss connection a little bit there too. So, no, it's I would like to have a good game. I'm sure he does too again.
Thanks, Seth.